Yeah, you could say that. You always have.
A
Yeah.
sad, sad heart.
Well, Bo, you back? You good?
Yep, we are good to go.
All right. Let me fire this up again. All right, we're back. It is part 2 of episode 57. Bo, where were we?
You were deep beneath Tietkala Keep, having moved past the crypt into Nobieri's secret laboratory. You've proceeded down the hallway and opened up the secret door into the laboratory and see the figure of 47 Carnage standing in front of you. And he goes, boom. And something's not quite right. He has a large gash in his neck. Dried blood.
He's really saying boom over and over. This is amazing.
And his head is sort of that way. He doesn't really, he moves his hands up and then he moves his hands down. And then he steps to the side and he points to the door behind him. And he goes, boom.
Hope will shake her head and follow where he's pointing.
Okay. So across the way is a door. Let's get that open for you. Okay. You can move on in. You open up the door and you see the ritual room, that place where you freed Nobieri during the battle for Tietkala months ago. The room is cleaned up. There's no more grease on the walls and the thick dirt layer of death and decay that had brought it over hundreds of years. But it's still quite damp in the room, and the room is lit by torches on the wall in a large glowing circle which glows blue. Nobieri stands at the podium, the stone altar on the left side as you enter. He goes, good, you're here. Get in and close the door. And before him, you see another zombie-like being move forward to you. Teresa will take care of closing the door, and Carnage will guard outside. I hope you don't mind, but I kept him for a pet.
Hope's totally fine. She just wants to hear what's going on with the...
Then tell your friends to stop milling outside and get in here.
Guys, come on.
What the hell is this, Nobieri?
Boom.
This man is injured.
This man is dead.
47 Carnage zombie looks at you and with his eyes blank. Lemon tree.
I put my hand on Varel's shoulder and just say, don't. It's fine. He doesn't get to call.
He doesn't
that.
have the authority
No,
to
he doesn't.
issue lemon tree.
Only you do.
All right, and I'll move past him into the main room.
This is far from fine. Did anybody else know that he was doing this?
Zombifying our enemies? No.
Hope?
Hope you were aware of this.
He needs to practice his experiments.
Well, I vaguely remember another individual, long since dead, that was doing similar things to this. Why is this something we're condoning now?
Stanley, I am a dead tongue. The Nobieri line have been practicing the art of communicating and utilizing the dead since many centuries before you were born. We have no love for warlords or for the evils, but not all who are dead are evil, and those who are beyond redemption can be used to pay a price and serve the forces of good, of the Tietkilin. Come now, we don't have much time.
Alright, Stanley, very hesitantly, keeping his eyes on the undead, steps in and around.
And seeing that Nash hasn't followed, 47 Carnage turns to you and goes, boom.
I'm gonna walk up to his forehead, or right in front of his forehead. Are his arms strapped down, or is he chained, or is he just standing there?
No, he's just standing there. His skin is gray and dead looking. He looks bloated, as a corpse does, with rigor mortis. He's got a cut on his neck where Orifi last week instructed the guards to cut him and kill him in front of his rebel forces.
All right. I'm going to lean toward him slowly. My baby hand coming out of my shoulder is going to reach forward, grab him by his necrotic ear, pull his head toward me, and I'm going to lean the rest of the way and gently kiss his forehead in sort of a mob boss sort of kiss of death kind of move. And then I'll step away and I'll walk and meet up with everybody else.
The animated corpse of 47 Carnage does not react at all, but makes no aggressive motion towards you either.
Okay. It's purely symbolic, but also something
Then you hear him
Nash would
say,
do.
boom.
Boom is right, you piece of shit. And now I'm in with my friends.
Okay. And Teresa, the other zombie, closes the door behind you. Hope, how is it outside?
It's terrible. There are rocks raining down from the sky. Stanley, Varel, and Nash helped as many people as they could into the sewers, but it's a mess. You can't see anything.
Did you happen to learn anything during your travel back to the keep? Any of you?
There was a meteor that flew through the sky and crashed in the distance. I assume this was just debris.
Well, I do not know what is the cause of this either, but it is clearly too close to be a coincidence to us. We cannot simply brush this away. I've called you here because we need to consult the spirits, and it is now your time to do this. We haven't had much time to talk about it, child. But I will need to send you to the ethereal realm to meet the ancestors. Perhaps they will know what happened. Your companions are here because they will need to protect you as you make this journey. This is not the right set of circumstances. We are putting this together quickly, so the usual protections we try to have will not be in place. Beyond will try to escape, and you will need them to protect this realm and keep them from doing so.
Hope will look back at Stanley, Nash, and Varel. You ready?
Do you have the means to dispatch of spirits, O great warriors?
Do I know anything from the book about fighting spirits that I can share with people?
You might. Spirits tend to be not have a physical form. However, they can manifest themselves in this realm. And the book explains that normal weapons, in particular, are not effective against them. Neither is poison, necrotic, or cold. They're immune to it. And they're also immune to many different conditions, such as being charmed or frightened and grappled.
All right.
It's also resistant to non-magical attacks, acid, fire, lightning, and thunder.
I share that with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take my Maelstrom out, and I lack options against spirits.
I mean, even with magic, I'm not going to be at peak power against them.
Nobieri, do you possess gloves of spirit gripping that I could use to strangle them?
Unfortunately, I do not have these things. You will have to use what you have available to you.
Why are these creatures... Why is their default state to destroy us? Or are they? Will any be friendly?
There are good spirits, but they will remain in the ethereal realm. It is the angry ones who will try to escape and harm Hope and myself as we perform the ritual. I will need you to protect us.
What if
Yeah,
the
but-
sword was on fire?
As Stanley explained from his book, it can be harmed with magical fire, but it will take extra time. Your blows will have to be fast and furious. You will have to drift into your attacks. With the strength of a rock. But do not light. There is no diesel in here, so do not worry about setting anything on fire.
What
You know,
about
if
your
it's what we
shield,
must
Varel?
do, it's what we must do.
Very good. I'm ready.
Do we have like a free cantrippy style heal of any kind? Or no?
There are no heals that are cantrips.
I did ask if anybody was hurt earlier. You stayed woefully quiet.
Well, I forgot that I had some damage from that stone.
You can say something now.
I know, but I don't want him to waste spell slots.
I can do it.
Because it's not that much. I'm 42 out of 58. It's not that bad.
Yeah, we'll wait till you actually.
Yeah, let's wait till I get some more hurt, and then I'll tap you then. All right.
Do you have everything you need? I'm sorry to rush through this, but we need to get started now.
Is there more you can give?
In what regard?
You asked if we had everything and we need.
No, I'm saying in terms of this discussion about healing or preparation. Are you
Oh.
prepared?
Ready.
I believe in all of you and that you have what it takes to protect Hope. Hope,
Yes.
the most severe warning, it will be for you. The spirits there will test you. Do not leave, when you are in the ethereal realm, do not leave the circle. If you do, you will be lost forever. You will be able to hear your companions. So when they tell you it's time to leave, you must go. Listen for them. Their voices will be faint.
Hope will nod.
You should take off those guns that you are carrying. Do not bring them there with you.
Alright, Hope will breathe. She'll sigh. And she'll take off her guns. And drop
Why?
them on
Why
the
can't
floor.
you bring the guns?
They are made with demon steel. They will summon unholy spirits.
Oh. Well, that's a fair point then.
What about my limbs?
Your limbs.
What about my
They will,
heart?
they will not travel there with you. But your form in the spirit realm, it will not work the same as it does here. You will be buoyant. You will float.
Okay.
Okay, Teresa will guard the door. Be sure she does not succumb to a spirit neither. Teresa's. Very well, Hope. Enter.
Right. Hope will take a deep breath and she'll give a nod to everybody. And she'll enter the circle.
Heroes, take up your positions around the circle.
I'll move myself between the circle and Nobieri.
Do you want us on the little points, or just like that's fine?
Wherever you think you will cover the most ground to protect us. My recommendation is everyone take an angle.
Go right here.
Nobieri begins flipping through his books, and he looks Hope at you in the eye. He says, "Do not be scared, child."
Hope doesn't look scared.
And it begins. Yori bantu yisi manta. Iri kontu horo spanta. And then as he begins this process, there's like a wind coming from nowhere underneath him, blowing his robes up, and his hair begins to fly all over the place. And his eyes begin to turn all black, his pupils gone. Ivo rinken tiborodo, hansu kibarentu firo. And Hope, you begin to feel yourself grow light, and you lose control of your body as you begin floating up as though you were in water, suspended in air, and she floats, and your eyes also turn completely black. And then you feel your soul rip from your body as it floats away. And the circle begins glowing bright. Now there's a large torrent of white-blue light that Nash, Stanley, and Varel can see as it spins around you. And if you refer to roll 20 for now, Hope, you'll see that you're in a new place.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh my god.
And where is your token?
I don't need my token because it's not leaving the circle.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Where's
There
Hope?
it is.
She's in the circle.
And as you move into this new realm, you see the world fall away, and the walls just dissolve away, and then you're in this great desert plain that's gray and black, and there are dead trees, black all around you, and the sky is black, stars dotting the twilight. You are alone. But for a moment, a blue light swirls around in front of you, and it begins to take shape. And then you see a tiefling, regal, large, move towards you. It's a woman. Who visits the realm today? Says the voice.
Queen Orifi Akmenos.
Ah, she is Akmenos, she says. And what wisdom do you seek today?
What has caused the attack on my city?
And you hear a voice behind you as another tiefling spirit emerges. What has caused the tiefling attack on the city, she asks. And another spirit shows behind you in the same manner and says, she would have the spirits answer her questions for her. But who is she? Then a fourth spirit opens up in a full circle around you now and says, she is unproven. She is but a child. And the first one addresses you and says, tell me, why is it that you think you are worthy?
I'm here to protect my people.
Protect your people. And do your people know that you consort with demons?
I did what I had to.
And then the one to your left says, I did what I had to is a common excuse of the weak. The one on your right says, we must know the truth of your heart, Hope, Orifi, whatever your name truly is. The one behind you says, she is an imposter. Test her. And the one in front of you looks to you and says, we will answer your questions. And by those, we will pose of you questions. And by your answer, we will know the truth of who you really are. And then you will receive your just reward. And they approach the circle closer. Do you accept?
Hope will look at each one of them in the eye as she makes the circle and then look back to that first one. Yes.
Very well. Ask your question first, she says to the one on the right. The one on the right stares at you, smoldering, his ghostly eyes taking greater shape. Listen carefully. You are the chief of security for the people within your tribe, and you have finally apprehended a villainous foe who has been murdering the children of the people you are charged in protecting. It is only you and the murderer who will know what happens here, and you have gained the upper hand and may decide his fate. What do you do?
I question him to find out why he did what he did, if he has any family, and then I kill him.
Okay, and as this happens, we're going to go back to the rest of the party. The torrent begins intensifying. And Nash, from your angle, you see a face begin to take shape, and you hear, and it's as if this light, this blue-white light that's circling around the etchings on the floor, opens up and a hand and face come out. And it looks around. And its face begins to take shape, and it's a familiar face, but you can't place what it is. And then it looks at Stanley and goes, "Murderer! Murderer! Ah!" And it bursts forth from the light, a large ghost, dressed in Teat Guard riot gear, but ripped. A large cut in his neck opened up, chains on his hand and claws where his hands are. And he goes, "You killed me in the cave below, and now I will kill you and take back my honor." And the ghost swirls around and faces you, Stanley, and then screams. And his face turns into a giant skull, and his eyes grow really small, but the eye holes grow really big, and the teeth go out. And I will need everyone to make a saving throw. Wisdom saving throw, please.
4.
9.
13.
Okay, sorry, I have to go ahead here because this is gonna be really big. Okay, so sorry, 4 for who?
Varel.
9 for Nash?
Stanley.
Stanley.
Yep. I was 13.
13.
Yeah, 13.
Okay, Nash, you save from this. Stanley, I have to figure out. 13, 12, 10. Okay, this doesn't affect you badly, but you are currently frightened, Stanley, which means that you have disadvantage on ability checks and attack rolls while you can see, while it's within your line of sight, and you can't willingly move closer. Varel, you too are frightened in this way. This ghost has chilled your bone, and you can see with great horror who this ghost is. As its face sort of splits off, and you can also see it from the front, just as Stanley can. It's the face of George Miller.
Oh my gosh. Freaking George.
And you are so frightened by the return of this that you age. You age 30 years.
Holy shit.
Whoa!
Do you have a way around this?
No, that is very close to my life expectancy
It is.
as a lizard.
Oh.
So I've got 4 years left on me. I'm elderly.
You're old. Your body, you begin to shorten in stature. You are scared for your life. What do old lizard folk have? Your scales grow long and brittle. And there's now crinks in your arms and legs. And you no longer stand 7 feet. You stand 5 feet. You're bent over, old and broken, but still tough and sinewy. Lizard folk don't necessarily lose their power, but you are old and scared. and your eyes sort of shift a little bit as, when we get older, our faces kind of get weird. so all your teeth are crooked and your eyes are crooked and there's gray hairs. Just a little bit, just a tiny tuft of gray hair, like at the tip of your chin and on your eyebrows and in your ear holes.
Oh no.
and between your toenails and fingers, you also grow a little bit of gray hair there too.
Was that just Pharrell or was that me too?
Nope, you didn't fail by the requisite amount in order to be scared into old age. So it's now combat time. Roll for initiative. Or wait, we said we'd do something different, didn't we?
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
You said we're not doing that.
Yep. So let me just check this thing here. Okay. So if you can actually see the turn order in Roll20 now. I've put it in, except Hope is not on this list. I will go ahead and.
Oh yeah, cool. There it is.
All right. So Stanley, you are up first, and I don't know how to add anyone else into this. Oh, I said you. Stanley, you're up first.
All right. And so the spirit is a little ways away from me then. And I can't move closer to it, you said, right? Because
You're not allowed to move closer to it.
I'm scared.
You are scared.
All right. Well, yeah, that does change things. Is it within 60 feet of me? Yeah, it is. All right, I am going to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Okay.
That is a Wisdom 16 save for it.
Wisdom 16 save. Perfect. Let's see what his thing.
Oh, I'm going to cast it at, I should say, 3rd level.
Okay, perfect. So it fails its save.
Okay.
What are the effects of Dissonant Whispers, please?
Okay, so a discordant melody that only one creature of your choice within range can hear. On a failed save, it's going to take, in this case, 5d6 damage.
Oh, wow.
And then it needs to move as far as its speed allows away from me. It won't move into obviously dangerous ground, but as far as the speed will take it away.
Okay, now is that... I need to check for immunities. I think
Oh, it's 5d6 psychic damage.
Psychic damage. Psychic. All right, you can definitely do that for full damage. So go ahead and roll your 5d6. That much is true. The spell's called Dissonant Whispers, right?
Yes, that is 18 damage total.
Okay. Okay, perfect, since it's psychic and it doesn't appear to be resistant to it, even though it is... Oh, you found a way around it. Very good. All right, so it moves. The ghost immediately flies up and screams, "Ah!" And it moves to the back. It floats over to the back. Where's... What's his movement? 40. Okay. Moves to the back of the room near Nobieri. And it will... Oh, okay, I see why that is. All right. Anything else?
Nope. I think that's going to be the turn. Yeah, that'll be the turn. We'll say.
Okay, Varel.
And it just flew past me, right?
It did.
And I cannot move towards it and all the things that happen to Stanley.
You can't move. You're frightened. You can't move towards the source of your fear, and you get disadvantage on attacks towards it and ability checks that target it.
All right. Well, I will pop my old man flame shield and go, George, you're dead, and throw the shield at him.
Okay, make an attack roll. A thrown weapon, so you can use your strength modifier, but it is a disadvantage. Although if you do rage, you will just have a normal roll, probably.
9.
Okay, the shield misses, bounces off the walls, and you catch it as it comes back, and you're like, oh! It's pretty heavy for your body now.
I will back up several steps in shock of this event. And I would be, outside of just stat-wise, shocked, because Varel believes that bodies are useless when they're gone, and seeing a ghost would just be too damn much.
Yeah, it's fully George Miller. His look, his face, his helmet up. His foot is blown apart. You see on one of them where he shot himself in the foot. All right, Nash, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, I've been thinking about the best way to handle this. Can I get some clarification? The little dude up here. Whoops, hold on. Is that George?
That's Teresa.
That's Teresa. This is George.
That's George, yeah.
Okay. Good. That actually helps. All right. Oh, jeez. I doubt he's gonna even do that. All right. Here's what we're gonna try. He's pretty. He's too close to those guys, though. All right. I'm gonna do. I want to try Ice Storm all the way over there. This thing
Storm.
will. Yeah. Now here's the thing with it. I'm gonna have to spend some sorcery points to try to protect Flim and Flam over here, because it's gonna be they'll be caught in the range. Can I do that?
Keep in mind that Nobieri's concentrating, so I guess if there's any damage on a failed save from it, I'm just getting to the spell.
Oh, you're right. He's doing stuff. He's not just standing there.
Yeah, you've got to protect him while he channels and keeps Hope safe in the spirit realm,
All right.
or she'll be lost forever.
Then I'm gonna just that'll also hurt them. Okay, I've got some structural logistical issues to deal with, so I'm just gonna cast Fireball, Bolt rather, not Ball. Bolt, Fire Bolt.
All right, Firebolt, shoot it, make an attack roll.
All right, your to hit is that's 17 to hit.
It is a hit.
Okay, that means he takes 2d10 damage. Actually, at level 5, I do an extra. Okay, so it's actually it's still 2d10. So all right, sorry, 2d10.
While you do that, Stanley, how much damage did you do with your psychic roll? I think I missed that.
Oh, jeez. I don't remember.
Can we get chat room? Someone in chat room remember?
Chat room, do you remember how much I rolled on that?
Forgot to write it down.
Someone will remember. We're on low latency, so she'll be able to tell us.
I was in the
quick.
process of trying to make sure Varel was the right old.
If need be, I can always re-roll it, and we can just take whatever it was.
It's not in there.
What is
Someone's
it
going to
re-roll?
remember it. Hold on. Real ones. 18, they say.
100,
Yeah.
they immediately say.
Is it
18
18?
kind of sounds correct to me.
That sounds right to me as well.
Thank you, chat room.
Thank you.
All right. Perfect. So, excellent. How much damage does the firebolt do?
13 total.
So that's halved. Halved is
Half 13 would be
6.5. So
6.5.
rounded down is 6. So you do 6 points of damage to it.
Okay.
The fireball goes out and sears a piece of it, and you see it doesn't really catch a flame, but the way that it combusts with the spirit, it just sort of burns off a side of him. And George looks at you in disgust. Murderers.
Okay, can I do one other thing?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell me if I can't. Can I pull something out and show it to him as an action?
Yeah, you can use one object as a free action.
All right. I reach into my robe and I pull out the doll that was meant for his daughter. And I say, and I hold it aloft and I go, George! You don't have to do this! And I hope that the vision or the image of this doll in my hand somehow sparks in him I don't know, a memory of who he used to be.
Oh, you're trying to pacify him.
Yeah,
Trying
after
to
I burn
pacify
him.
the spirit.
You burn him, then you pacify him.
That's how peace works. You
Yeah.
shoot them,
Yep.
and then you say, "Let's do peace."
Yep.
Okay, so let's make a religion check, please.
Okay. Ooh, I've never done a religion roll. Okay, hold on. I'm so excited. +3 to that. Okay. 15. It's not great.
It doesn't have an effect on him. In fact, it taunts him further as he looks towards you, and he hisses in this ghostly, like, unhuman way, and you are now the focus of his attention.
Great.
The ghost circles up, spins above Nobieri, and was about to assault Nobieri, but the doll has captured his attention, and it nosedives straight for you. You see it just charge across the room, avoiding that area where Hope is. So he sort of swirls around it and dives for you, his two hands outreached, like spirit bomb style.
Okay.
And he makes an attempt to possess you as he enters into your body. I need you to make a saving throw, please.
Holy shit. So, what? Constitution? What am I doing?
A charisma saving throw. Excuse
Charisma.
me.
All right.
It's one of your better ones, so should be
I'm
fine.
not very charismatic, am I? Can't remember. What the hell is it? I can't find it. I can't find my
Charisma
thing.
ability score is top left.
No, I know, but
the saving throws are directly underneath it.
oh, there it is. Okay.
+7 to your roll.
Yeah,
it
that's
says
pretty
here.
good. Okay. That's okay. So that would be 17. It's not great.
Okay, so it makes an attempt to possess your body, and you feel the spirit enter inside of you
Great.
as it moves in and fills you out. But you're able to channel the mana wave energies and force it from out of your body, and then it sort of reacts. Doesn't do any damage to it, but it sort of flies through you and behind you and turns around and prepares its next assault. We now move back to Hope.
Okay.
The next spirit behind you directly now proposes another question for you. You serve the Lord of a great kingdom as foot washer and come from a long line of foot washers. You take pride in your work, and there is no greater foot washer in all the land. You notice over the past week that a green fungus is growing on your Lord's feet, and it every day becomes larger. The Lord has finally had enough and blames his illness on you. What do you do?
I tell him it's not my fault. I try to find a way to fix it.
He blinks at you and doesn't seem to acknowledge whether or not he thinks the answer is right or wrong. We move back to our party, fending off the ghost. Stanley, it is your turn.
Alrighty.
You see Varel grown old to your right. You see Riddle continuing to channel his spell and speak in Infernal with his casting his incantation. Hope is floating in the circle, arms outstretched, eyes blackened. The ghost just flew through Nash. The ghost of George Miller just flew through Nash.
All right. Well, I have found a good way to hurt them, and at least this time he won't be flying over by Nobieri if he runs from me. So I am going to Dissonant Whispers him again at level 3.
It's a DC 13 saving throw.
16 for wisdom.
16. Natural 20.
Oh,
Wow.
The
Enjoy
spell, she shrugs it off. And this time the spell doesn't work. And now his attention is turned to you, Stanley. He goes, You'll pay for robbing my children of their father. Anything else you'd like to do for your turn?
yeah. Let's throw out diplomacy, say parlay, and send it to go and stab him.
Magical weapon.
But I do have disadvantage on the attack, correct?
You are frightened, yes.
Well, I don't think this is gonna go well because neither of those were good. We'll see though. That is going to be a 12 to hit.
It's a hit.
Oh, sick! All right,
Sick hit, bro.
sick hit. That's 9 points of damage from diplomacy.
Excellent. You throw out the sword and it flies forward and it pierces him, and you see him visibly scream, "Ah! What is happening?" As the sword tears through his ethereal flesh, splitting strands away, like almost looks like him getting a haircut.
Oh, he's never going to make a Mad Max sequel at this rate.
All right, if you're gonna move, that's all you have left.
No, that will be the turn.
Pharrell, your turn.
Still under the effects of.
By the way, we forgot to do this with the new initiative, but you should have rolled an advantage die. So can you do that now, just so we can fix that?
Sure.
It's what you got for that level. So
This would have been better.
yeah, what is it?
7. So the
This
passive
would've been
initiative
better.
you did
Okay,
would have been better.
perfect. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm out of range, and I can't approach any further, so I will be frightened and drop Maelstrom and quiver and George, we have no sandwiches, George. It was Diane Tallis, he's not here, he's gone. Why do you haunt us?
Okay, that's your turn. Nash, it is your turn. You
Sorry.
see Varel,
Can't give
old Varel, get to his knees and beg the ghost for mercy.
All right, I am in. So he's right there. Shit. Okay, I'm gonna use another new thing. I'm going to use Dimensional Door. Teleport myself from my current location to any other spot within range. You arrive at exactly the spot you desired. It can be a place you can see. Blah blah blah. I can bring along objects as long as their weight doesn't exceed what I carry, but I'm not doing that, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, first time using this, just making sure I'm good. This is going to cost me a spell slot at 3rd level, and my range is 150 feet, so... I'm sorry, that's wrong. It is a...
Dimension Door's a 4th level.
4th level, yeah. Oh,
It's your only 4th level spell slot.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me see.
Hey, Bo.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, is there any additional save to the Horrify, or does it just have to run its course?
It lasts a minute. Oh,
okay.
You should be making saves, actually. My bad. I did miss that. For the fear. I did miss it, yes. There are saves on each round. For this round. Should have been done previous round, too. So, we will give you everyone a chance to save on the next round.
Okay.
I'm going to move here.
Cool.
With advantage, basically.
Good catch, John. I'm
Yeah,
going to move
sorry
there.
about that is my bad.
It's all good.
No, I was just curious. I just didn't know what it was, so... I was just
No,
checking.
yeah. I didn't keep track of that.
I'm going to mold earth, and I'm going to take this earth here. Or rather, I'm sorry. Let's take the earth here and stack it on top of this. So basically, I just want to kind of create a distraction in a wall. Now,
Well,
he's a
create
ghost,
a
and he may
wall.
not care. I don't know, but I want to try this. So I'm going to take that earth and go and drop it here.
You did see him pass through you.
Yeah. But, well...
So you're starting to think, mate. I'm going to give you a free little tip here. Maybe Ghost can go through.
Can they go through walls? Shit.
Yeah.
Well, that's not going to be good then.
It just traveled through you. You say Nash has some doubts about whether or not a wall would keep a ghost from.
Okay. I still have a lot that
Traversing
works.
through there.
That's going to work on him outside of like half damage stuff.
Well, I mean, you'd still use your half damage stuff. Still
I'll
gotta
tell you
kill
what.
him.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to move as far as that, and then I'm going to cast because he'll be all by his lonesome over there, and it'll be a ton of damage. Hopefully, I'm going to cast Fireball.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So centered on him.
Yep. Centered on him, away from everyone else. We've basically done a character swap here. It's like we've D'Artanis this thing, John. So here he is on that side of the room, and I'm going to cast a gigantic fireball at him. And to hit, it will be...
So I'll need to know the saving throw.
Oh, sorry.
Goodness.
Wow.
Dex 15.
Okay, sorry. And it's 20-foot radius, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 8 by 8.
Yeah. Ooh, I don't like how that thing's moving. This freaks me out.
Wow.
Okay, perfect. So it hits centered on George Miller.
Yep.
Okay, actually, it's got to hit like that to be centered. Okay, perfect. So you fire out a large fireball and it explodes in the corner. What's my save again, sorry?
It's Dex 15.
It's Dex 15.
Yep.
Okay, it definitely misses. Roll your 8d6 damage.
Oh, wait. It hits, you mean?
It hits. Sorry, I
okay.
failed. I
Okay.
failed the saving throw, so I'll take the full brunt.
All right.
George will take the full brunt of 8d6.
Yep. All right. 8d6. 5, 6, 7, 8. That would be a grand total of 27 damage.
Okay, and that's cut in half because of the resistance you guys are aware of.
Yep.
So that is 13. And that is enough to kill it. And so as you shoot the fireball out, you raise your hands up and fire it. Do you want to describe how this
Yes.
ghost is killed by your fireball?
Yes. I go.
Okay.
I say, sometimes this spell is only but filler, but this time it means the demise of George Miller. And I fire it off in big swoops. My little hand is even kind of getting into it. My little arm, my shoulder hand. And I fired across the room.
A little baby fireball follows behind it.
And it blows
short.
my cloak behind me and sends it across the room.
And you shoot the fireball in a very small space, but it fills up the corner and explodes in the corner. And you see the spirit of George Miller go, no! And it dissipates into nothing.
Nice.
And as the smoke clears from the fireball, nothing remains but this charred wall and smoke everywhere. And the room begins to fill up a little bit with the carbon, from the explosion. The magical explosion. All right, Hope, back to you in the spirit realm. A third tiefling, this time in the circle, approaches you and asks you a question. You and your child wander the wastes and have not eaten in 4 days. You have been unsuccessful in hunt, and there is no salvation in sight. You will both die of starvation and dehydration soon. What do you do?
What direction was the last town we came from?
Is this your answer?
I would need clarification to answer this question.
A look of disappointment registers very subtly on his face, but you see it. And we return to our friends back in the study. And as the explosion dissipates and leaves, and George Miller's ethereal form finishes, the circle begins to intensify again, and another ghost begins to spring forward from it. Georgie? Georgie! What did they do to you? And a woman spirit comes out.
It's got a vibrato and everything.
And you see as the spirit moves out, clutching the sort of waterfall-like effect of the spirit circling Hope, and another spirit moves forward, and the woman enters. She goes, Georgie! Georgie! You've killed Georgie! Stanley, you have a chance to act before everyone else, but you are still in combat as a new spirit emerges.
All right. I'm no longer frightened because that was no longer.
So
target,
at the start
right?
of your turn, you can make a roll with advantage, please.
Okay.
You're still frightened. It lasts a minute, so that's 6 rounds.
But frightened of what? The thing that was frightening is gone.
The fear lingers in your soul.
Oh. Okay. Well, shit. This is a wisdom save, or what kind of?
Pardon me. It is a wisdom save. Yes.
Okay. Well, I rolled the same for both, so it is a 13.
You save, and you're no longer frightened.
Great. All right. I am going to. Let's see here. She's very close to Hope. So I think I am going to move between Hope and her up to here.
You go to move into that direction in the circle, and a feeling of dread enters you as you get close to the circle.
Oh, maybe I shouldn't go in the circle, is the feeling.
You
All
feel
right.
you should move into the circle.
Okay. I'm not in the circle here, right? I can.
That's right.
Okay. So I will move up to there, and I will continue to do what has been effective and dissonant whispers at level 3 on her.
Wisdom 16
Yep.
fails.
Okay. All right, so that is 20 damage to her,
Okay.
and she has to move as far away as she can.
Okay. So your magic is powerful this time, and as you reach out and bend the arcane energies to cause the psychic damage to this ghost, it twirls around and dissipates into a cloud and then reforms and looks at you in horror and goes, "Ah!" And it retreats backwards, its full movement speed through the wall. And is
All right.
gone.
Hey, that's pretty good. I will call diplomacy back to my hand for my bonus action, and that'll be my turn.
The ghost is now gone. And we go back to Hope. The fourth and final question, as the original, what you know in your heart to be an Akamainos ancestor, approaches you, looks you right in the eye, and says, "Your childhood friend entrusts you with a secret. You have known this person since you were both babes, and you have sworn your life to never reveal the secret. Decades later, your childhood friend has since passed from the mortal realm, and you have gained great fame and notoriety in your profession. You are then accused of a great crime and face the punishment of death by those who formerly celebrated you. Your only salvation to escape death and prove your innocence would be to reveal this secret at your trial. What do you do?"
Hope would keep eye contact, and she would answer, "I would not reveal it."
A look of satisfaction registers on her face, and she looks to the left and to the right and says, "It is decided. Your fate will be known to you." And they all disappear. And they leave.
No. My kingdom.
You hear a laugh. And from one of the trees, a shadow emerges. It is oily, and it drips, and as it walks, the drippings are left on the ground. You see burning eyes and a burning mouth where the laughter is. "Well, if it isn't an old friend. Hello, Hope. Or should I say, my queen?"
Hello, Quiz Claus.
"Oh, you remember me. It is good to see you again. You'll remember I like queens and had a good friend in Moghfarain who was a queen. I look forward to working with you again."
Hope will just stare at him.
You might be wondering, with all of the protections in place, why I'm here. The ethereal realm works differently than the material plane that you mortals call home, and demons can have access to it too. It seems your ancestors have forsaken you, Hope. And now I am here. Tell me, what can I do for you?
Nothing.
But I think that I can. You see, your great kingdom, Hope, is in danger from Andriesta. Even now, she plots with her contractor, Dolopopio.
Okay. Hope doesn't make that noise.
Now, you have an agreement with my lord, Ketobalpraith, and he has sent lawyers and attorneys to the Grim Council in the Weir to prevent Andriesta from seizing it, because Ketobalpraith's interests run at a crossroads with Andriesta. Ketobalpraith would like to see you succeed, and would like to see you keep your kingdom. But the Grim Council must hear Andriesta's claim on the people of Tiet Kala, and so it is held up in court. They are in discovery even as we speak, to find out who the Grim Council will choose. But the Warlords are not without the ability for compromise and adjudication. Perhaps mediation is on the table, and we can forego the decision of the Grim Council if we make an offer to Andriesta. Thereby not necessitating Dolopopio, because she has contracted a bounty hunter to come and rend the defenses of Tiet Kala and serve Tiet Kala to Andriesta. But I have a proposal for you. There is one among you. His name is Melgor, and his soul is good and pristine. Make a contract with me and 50 other tieflings, and perhaps we can consider the matter settled and move on to the business of killing the principal. And he floats over to one side and appears on another side. I like the ethereal realm. And he floats around.
What a
Get
goober.
out. Get out of here.
Do you not want to know what has landed in your backyard?
Well, of course
I
do,
can
but
tell you, and I will do it for free. The presence of Dolopopio is now on this world, and a great dragon has come to squash it out, but they were ready for him. And they killed him as he entered the atmosphere of your great planet. And even now his soul floats in the ethereal realm, sad and destroyed. Dolopopio is very deadly and good at what he does. Do not be an arrogant mortal. Be a smart one.
Hope will break eye contact with closed claws and start calling out for Dragon. Dragon. Recently dead.
Take my hand and I will take you to the dragon. Leave that circle of yours. I can take you to the dragon.
Hope's just shaking her head, staring at him. Still calling for the dragon.
Okay, and you call for the dragon, and you hear the sounds of battle outside the realm. And you hear Varel and Nash and Stanley yelling and fighting. We're going to go back to them now. Okay, so let me just move this over. The ghost of Martha Miller has now disappeared through the walls and has not returned. Combat is done. And before you guys can make sense of what has just happened, a new form begins to emerge from the wall. And you hear, Nash!
Oh, shit.
Nash! And you see the form of Pod begin to form. Nash!
My little hand comes out and goes over my mouth. Pod!
I'm sorry. Come play with me.
Is that you? Is that really you?
It's safe here. Come play with me. And her arm sort of stretches out, but she does not leave the barrier.
Is she a big version? Is she a hulked version or a normal?
She's the way you remember her, but ethereal and blue.
Okay.
We will play here forever, Nash. I miss you.
I miss you too, Pod, but we can't play here. This is a place we can't stay, and you can't stay with me. We're in two different worlds.
When you are ready, you will come here and meet me. Don't leave me alone here.
When I die, I'll come for you.
Nash, there's one thing I gotta tell you.
What?
There's a big Rory here.
A big what?
Rory.
Rory.
Rory. With looks like Varel. And then she sort of looks over at Varel. Varel's gotten old.
I can't explain it right now, but wait, what is a Rory?
A Rory with wings. I have to go now.
Wait.
But the Rory's really cool. She fades into the mist.
Okay.
And we go back to Hope. And Hope, you hear something tug at your mind, and it's the voice of Nobieri, and he says, I cannot hold much longer, Hope.
Fine.
Find out what you can. And Quizquaz goes, now let's not be hasty now. I really think you should give my offer some thought.
No.
No negotiating? We're on the same team.
No, we're not.
Well, if you should change your mind, seek us out at the Chateau Weir, and we can make a deal and put an end to this conflict. And get us working on what matters most to all of us. The death of the principal. The death of the Lich who guards the realms. And then spins, and you back in your body, and you feel heavy, and you feel like disgusting flesh, and it's gross as your spirit settles back in, and you sink to the ground and to your knees in the middle of the circle, as does Nobieri. Your eyes return to normal. The spirit realm stops. Nobieri sits back, and he looks exhausted. The room quiets.
Hope we'll see Varel. Varel?
Can I roll my save?
You are no longer frightened, but you are still old.
Okay.
Is there no... Wait, he's permanently old?
You will... Who are you asking? Are you just saying that out to the air? You're asking the DM?
I'm saying it out to the air because I don't know what to make of such a thing. I don't like it. He's our tank.
I mean, somebody should check their knowledge, or maybe ask someone who might know such
Yeah,
things.
speaking of, in my time studying medicine recently, do I have any knowledge of this sort of
Well,
thing?
your time studying medicine has not been time spent studying the effects of ghosts.
Right.
So rolling will not produce any information from
All
that
right.
source. However,
I am
there was an entry on ghosts in the Monstrositorum Arcanilicus. It's a quiet period. You may want to research that information.
all right. I'll start flipping to those pages, see what I can find.
Okay. It'll take a few minutes. Does anyone want to do anything while he looks it up?
No, Hope will just stay quiet, kind of catching her breath.
I'll say, I'll get up close to Burrell and say, Burrell, how do you feel?
Ah,
You look so old, friend.
the old man I found earlier said eggs. Perhaps I should get eggs.
I can get you eggs. Just sit still.
My people go lay on rocks till the end of days when we look like this. It sounds warm, but I don't want to go. I have things to do. How are you doing, Eyeball? Have I let you down?
Oh,
The eyeball is dormant.
No, he's not happy with me. I'll have to do great deeds later to make up for this. Great deeds. And I'll go back and I'll wander over to Mossturm and kind of pick up the hilt. Oh, okay. So what now, Nash? Do you have eggs?
I don't have eggs, but Stanley's trying to find out if there's a way to reverse this. You should grow old like a normal lizard folk and enter your end times without artificiality. This shouldn't happen now, and we need you. Stanley, hurry up.
All right. So what I want you to do right now, Pharrell, is you're going to be doing a charisma contest between Grosjean, your artifact, and yourself. It's add your charisma modifier to it.
Sweet. 0. All right. Let's battle. 11.
You succeed, and in spite of its disapproval, it does not attempt to suppress its abilities or take control of you in order to show you the way. It simply, like you, licks its wounds and understands that it was a powerful creature and that you will fight it again in the future.
I'll put the sword hilt in the ground, kind of trembling as I do, and bang my chest with my sinewy arms, be like, all right, we're still going. We still are fight and full of brave. Stanley.
So Stanley, you find the passage, and you note as you quickly skim through it and read through it that the scholars of the Arcanum have seen several instances of ghosts haunting places and scaring people into old age, and that they found that within the first 24 hours, if you're able to cast a greater restoration spell upon such a victim, you are able to reverse the effects or something similar. Otherwise, it's permanent.
All right. So the first thing I would do, seeing as I think he's a priest of some kind, I would go over to Nobieri. Nobieri, are you able to cast Greater Restoration? Do you know this spell?
He looks up and he says, "This is not the kind of magic that Matemaru blesses me with. Great
Alright,
hound.
then.
But you may wish to speak with Eminil and the Tide Bearers.
I will
There.
go check with them.
They may be able to assist you."
If the rocks are still falling, I don't think we should be taking Varel through the streets like this. Maybe we should,
Why not?
He's old, look at
Yeah,
him.
he's very old.
You want him dodging rocks? That's mean.
Bad idea.
I could go see if I can get Eminil here.
Very good.
All right, I'll take off running.
All right,
Assuming I can get out of here.
Mm-hmm. You Teresa moves to the door and opens it for you very, very slowly, and you're in a super big rush. The zombie's like,
Today, Teresa.
And then as the door opens, you see the other zombie turn around and go, boom. And he opens the secret passage for you, but slowly. It takes like 5 minutes. And then as they open, then you run down the hallway and you take off. And as you run up the stairs, get to the keep, the throne room, make your way outside of it, you notice that the air has dissipated. It's still full of dust, but there doesn't seem to be any large rocks, and you can see much clearer now in the air as most of the debris has settled, the heavy stuff at least. And you make your way to the church without event. The town is very much a ghost town. And does anyone else want to do anything while Stanley is out fetching a priest?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah, Hope's just resting.
Okay, so Stanley will continue with you then. You make your way through the city and into the church, and you see several people have taken up shelter in the church. The church was unaffected by the stone rain, and you see Emmanuel, someone you're very familiar with. She says, Stanley, what are you? Is it safe to go outside?
Emmanuel, I'm very glad to see that you're okay. Yes, it is. It seems that the worst of it has passed. But Vorel, there's a problem with him, and he needs your help.
What sort of problem? How can I help?
We got involved in a weird. It's better if you see it, but there was a ghost, and he's aged. He looks old. We need somebody that can restore him greatly.
Was this the work of Nobieri?
Not directly, no.
It was his little tricks in his corrupt way of speaking with the dead. I know what it is. I will come and I will help. And she looks visibly upset as she gets her cloak on and follows behind you. And you both return to the keep without event. Stanley's been gone now 20 minutes as the party sort of rests in the lab below, and then Stanley appears with Imanil, priestess of the Tide Bearers. But not before 49 Carnage announces their arrival by lifting a hand and going boom. Stanley, you enter the room with Imanil.
All right, I've brought Emmanuel here. She's going to be able to assist, I believe.
She looks at Nobieri with a bit of disgust. Nobieri is just drained. He's leaning against the corner, clutching his book and on the verge of sleep. And who is it that needs help? It's from the ghost.
This is him, my friend, Vorel.
She walks over to Vorel's side, kneels down next to you, Vorel, and she says, "And what has happened to you?"
I'm very young and active, and now I'm not.
Oh, you've been frightened.
23 years old am I.
Okay, I will need you to come with me. Just lie down. I don't mean come with me to some other room, but just lie down. Rest your old bones.
I have 24 hours, they said. And I'm laying down. I'm very eager to be young.
Who said this?
As Stanley.
And Stanley, she looks to you and assesses the extent of the situation, and she says, I will need the reagents. Specifically, I need the dust of crushed diamonds. At least 100 gold pieces worth of it. I do not have this at the keep.
Do you know where I might be able to acquire that?
I have
Anybody?
more gems in my treasury than I could ever use. Let me go find somebody to get them.
Okay. So Hope, now it's your turn to go and leave. And you make your way back up from the crypt into the throne room, and you see Paige running by as you hear the sounds of conversation from different rooms where people are safely stowed.
Cool. I'll call the page and send them to the. They wouldn't know where the treasury is.
So the treasure room would be actually kept in 2 different locations.
Okay.
The family heirlooms are in the spire of your keep, not below ground. Below ground is where your treasure hoard, however, beyond the old throne room, rests.
Oh, okay. So I wouldn't get the page. I'd go straight for the below ground treasury.
Okay. And you don't have the key to the room on you, so you'll have,
I'll have to go get the key.
You have to go all the way up the spire to your room,
Okay.
to the family room, and get it. Take the key, come back down, open the throne room. So this process takes about an hour. Running around through the keep. Not an hour, maybe like 30 minutes as you run upstairs, run downstairs, open up the treasure room vault door. There's just piles and piles of gold pieces. You have about 600,000 or 700,000 gold pieces in this room, as well in various forms, not just gold pieces but gems. And make an investigation check to see if you can't find a diamond among them.
Ooh, oh, cool. This went well. Investigation with a 19.
Okay, so you spend 10 minutes sifting through the gold, sifting through crowns, jewels, things that have been found of value, and you see a small ring and has a small diamond in it, and that small diamond definitely is worth a lot more than 100 gold, and you think you found what you're looking for.
Cool. I'll lock it back up, and then head back to Nobieri's.
All right, so Hope reemerges into the room.
While she comes in, I'm awkwardly trying to talk to Emethil, filling the hour that has gone by.
And what do you guys talk about?
I'm very glad you're okay. First of all, I wanted you to know that I was gonna come check on you and see what was going on, but I kind of got swept up in what was happening at the moment.
You owe us nothing. You were helping save the kingdom. We can take care of ourselves.
Well, yes, I was not trying to imply that you couldn't.
But do not feel that there's a burden. You did what your conscience directs, as we've talked about.
I didn't.
Do not. It is not up to you to save
as
everyone.
many people as I could.
And she takes your hands gently and looks into your eyes, and she says, "It is not your job to simply save everyone. It is not your burden. People will die, and people will do things that are out of your control.
But
You can
what
only-
if it was my control that put them there? There were people in a house that probably still stands that are now dead because I encouraged them to step out into the streets. How is that not my responsibility?
And did you not see that the buildings were being crushed by rocks?
I did.
That you did not intend ill, and that the fact that this even happened, I take it, was an act of evil.
It was a child, and
It will not be the last child killed by the demonic forces who threaten this world. By the tyrants who seize power over all men. And as she says this, she sort of looks to you, Hope, with a bit of suspicion. Oh no, you're not there.
I might be walking in at this point.
Yeah, you walk in at that point as she says that. And then she returns to you and she says, "Practice our meditation. Have you been able to make water?"
with the help of the mantle, yes. Not...
Show me. Show me.
Is Stanley going to pee himself?
And she takes a small little bowl that she has on her person. And it's a ritual looking bowl. It isn't just that she's carrying dishes with her. It's this very small bowl. And she holds it out to you with both hands. And she says, "Show me. Create the water of Melhaya.
Stanley
Ever see."
reaches up And on the mantle that he wears across his shoulders, he lightly touches the emblem of the fish bird on the front of it and holds his hand shaking over the bowl and tries to concentrate.
Do it how
And-
I showed you, like squeezing a lemon.
Slowly squeezes his hand together.
All right, and make a Arcana roll or religion roll, please. Sorry.
11.
With great difficulty, you squeeze and tense your body, and then she says to you, "Relax. Let the fish bird speak through your hands." And you quiet yourself, breathe deeply as she sort of taught you in that way. And before long, and Hope, you sort of see this as you enter the room, and you sort of stop to be fascinated by this. Stanley brings his hands together and squeezes them as though something's inside, and water begins to drip through his fingers and his palms, and it begins to drop into the bowl. And after a few moments, the bowl fills up with water. And Amanda looks and she says, "Very good. Very good. Malhaya blesses you. He sees you, and he knows your struggle. And he gives you his gift. Life-bearing waters." And this is the first time that you've actually willed water into existence.
And
Nash sees this and says, "Stanley, how the hell are you doing that?"
I've been learning some new abilities these past 3 months.
Stanley has taken an interest in the savior gods, Nash. You should too. Malhaya and Matemaru will be your salvation. All of our salvation. Not the Weirlord demons who created us and betrayed us and use us. And Malhaya has blessed Stanley today. Hope, did you bring what I need to help your friend?
Yes. And I'll bring over the ring.
Crush it into dust. Someone, I cannot.
Hope will kind of look around for something to put the ring on to see if she can use her foot, her metal leg, to crush a diamond.
Make a strength roll, please.
Oh dear. Let's see. It's gonna be a 9.
All right. I hate to do this because I didn't anticipate this coming up. But how hard is it to crush a diamond?
Extremely hard. I
Yeah,
think.
extremely hard, right? That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, I think even with a natural 20, I don't know.
So you set your metal foot on it, and it doesn't. You lift it up, and it isn't crushed at all. It needs to be crushed. Do we have an arcane way of doing this, or a tool?
Can I do an arcana check to see if I can see anything about it or think of anything?
You can use it if you want some hints in your knowledge. Then you can do an arcana check and see if anything occurs to
that's what I want to do.
the DM.
Yeah, anything occurs to the DM is what I'm looking for here. All right, I need to say that I rolled a... so that's +6, so that's 25? 25.
25.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you think to all the abilities that you've learned over the years to see what would be strong enough to crush the diamond, and you realize that vibrations, some kind of intense pressure in a small space, might be able to do that. So, your fire spells and your acid spells won't produce the results. However, you have access to spells which do thunder damage.
Mm-hmm.
And an intense enough amount of thunder damage in a small space pressed up against a crushing force might produce enough force to crush it into fine dust.
Okay. Trying to see which one. Hold on. That's sound. I don't want that. Thunder wave. All right, I'm going to suggest to the group. Nash tells the group that he thinks that Thunderwave may work. He says it quietly so that old man Varel doesn't hear him because he may still have PTSD about a certain Thunderwave, and that all I require is a small, or I guess a compressed space where I can sort of focus the energy.
Are you saying this to who? Nobieri?
To the group, and her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps can that concrete altar be lifted near Nobieri? Perhaps you can put the diamond under it and then cast your wave of force into it.
I can lift the earth beneath it, I suppose.
You have... Then why don't you just move it and put it into a bag and then use your magic to force it into crushing?
Anyone have a bag?
Not one I'm willing to let you crush.
Hope will take off her cape and then
A handkerchief might work.
I have an old rag.
the hood.
I have an old rag. We'll use that.
Put the cloak back on.
Yeah. I have a little old rag.
Okay. Well, do you take Hope's or do you use your own?
I'll use mine. Hope, keep yours. That's the queen's robe. Well, we'll use my shitty rag here.
Hope will just shake her head and smile.
All right. I'll tuck the diamond in there. I'll do everything that she suggested and then tell everyone to stand back and cast the spell.
Okay, so you put the diamond inside of the robe cloth that you have. Sorry, where are you putting it? Is it in the ground?
I'm gonna. I'm gonna take some. I'm taking some earth out with mold earth. I'm going to then put that in that space so that it's just sort of subterranean a little bit, not by much, and then I will focus the entirety of the spell in that space.
Okay, and at what level are you casting your? Which is it? Thunderclap or Thunder Wave?
Wave. The clap is just a sound thing, so wave would be what I want, and it will be cast at
What level?
That's what I'm trying
Basically,
to
the higher the level, the greater chance you will have of succeeding.
I'll burn my 4th level on this one and go max.
Okay, perfect.
Which is 5d8.
5d8. So, and
Thunder damage.
it's usually a Constitution save, but a diamond doesn't have a Constitution save. So, you use mold earth. You create a pocket where you can put the diamond wrapped up in it. You put the earth back into it, and then you just want to describe what it looks like. Was you channel your force into a concentrated location?
Yeah, I go with hands sort of rotating at my sides like this, like I'm working up to something. I say. I yell, "I'm sorry if this feels rushed, but we need this diamond crushed." And I go, and cast it into the ground.
All right, and the ground begins to vibrate like a piston, like really quickly. You know that part where Quicksilver in X-Men, like First Contact or whatever, he shakes the windows to make the thing pop. Like that's what's happening.
Okay.
It's just like it bounces for a full 10 seconds.
Okay.
And then it stops. And then there's this sort of crushed, as there's a 5 by 5 foot sort of hole where you've crushed in the earth just a little bit, like a dimple in the floor of the room.
Okay.
I imagine you'll use the mold earth to open it up
Yeah.
and collect the diamond.
Yeah.
So you pull out the loose earth and stone from underneath it, and you see your cloth still intact. And you open it up, and you see that the spell has been successful, and that the dust of a diamond, very fine. It's coarser than you'd like, but she says, "That will be good enough. Please give it to me."
All right. I'll hand it over to her, ever so gently. I'll use my shoulder hand. I'll dip way down and scoop it up with a little hand, and it'll be all the dust in the tiny baby hand, and it'll put it over in her, pour it off into her hand.
Okay. She looks at it, and she takes it into her hand, and she squeezes it like she showed you, Stanley. And she places a hand on Varel, Varela's hand's really heavy on your frail chest. Thank you. It's exactly what I was looking
That's too good.
She places a hand on your chest and she begins an incantation. Oh, great Malhaya, relieve the pain and suffering. Inta Yero Bezil, Unta Ufaredil. And she releases the diamond dust into the air, and it sprinkles glowing blue and white. And she moves it like it's a cloud she can paint with her hand over top of your body, and the light begins to settle down underneath, and she takes her hands and puts them on your chest and holds them there with her back upright with an incantation. And before your very eyes, you see Vorel, the gray hairs from his ears and near his teeth and his beard and his nose and between his fingernails and toenails begin to retract into his body, and his nails grow shorter but still long, but not old and craggly, and his teeth straighten and his eyes straighten, and his back appears to straighten and his muscles repair, and then eventually returns to his old self after the process of just one simple minute.
Nice.
That's horrifying. I hated every minute of it, and I never wish to be there again. Except for the passage of time, which would make me wise, and less frightened by the activity.
Welcome back, Pharrell. The only side effect is you're going to have diamond-like kidney stones one day. Good luck with those. I kid. It's not true.
Do you high five your baby hand each time you make a joke
Yep.
now?
Psh, like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the best use yet of the baby hand.
Yep.
You hear Nobieri from the corner. Hope, what did you see? Tell us.
It was a dragon, apparently. There was a dragon that came in to fight Delapopio, and it was killed by Delapopio's forces as it entered the world. I don't know where it came from. And so it's out there. I don't know what...
This attack on this assassination attempt tonight on you was no coincidence. The forces of evil moved towards you.
He's teamed up with Andriesta.
They seek to rend this kingdom. You must go to the landing site. We cannot send our men. Remember, they do not know of your dealing with Ketobel Praith, nor do they know mine.
Is Emanil still in here?
Yeah, Emanil's... Hope's just gonna cough and look over at Emanil.
And Emanil looks shocked and she begins stepping away in horror. Dealings with demons. She looks at you, Hope. She says, say it ain't true. Tell me it is not so. She begins backing away towards the door.
I've simply talked with them. That's what he means by that.
But this is a
It
betrayal.
wasn't intended.
You have told the people to reject the Weird Lords and protect them. Nobieri, I knew you were corrupt. The people must know. They must know the truth. You cannot lie to them. She begins backing away towards the door.
Emanil, it's fine. Let me get you out of here.
The ultimate shock registers on her face at you saying, I have taught you everything I know. And if you are a creature of honor, I believe we must put a stop to this, Stanley. Apprehend them. And her arms sort of begin glowing blue as she enters a combat stance.
Oh, shit.
She backs towards the door where she came from.
We don't want to do this.
And you take a step, she takes another step back. The people must know. Let me go.
Look, we are all working towards the same goal. Yes, we believe in the rejection of the Weird Lords, but not all of us are blessed with coming to these things clean. We need to work together to find a way to rid the world of them.
And
Now-
as you say that, oh, go ahead. Finish. Sorry.
Now,
Pardon me.
Emanil, you told me that redemption is something that can come for anybody, for everybody. And I told you that I didn't believe that was the case, but you have tried for the past 3 months to get me to believe you. And maybe what I just saw here today is a sign that maybe that is true. But like I said, for a lot of people, that salvation doesn't present itself until we are already very far gone. Now, we want to work together to get rid of the Weird Lords. But some of us, myself included, have a storied history with them. And if we let the people know now, we will be in no position to fight them. They'll come one day. Let us do it from a place of strength and unity and not squabbling amongst ourselves here and now.
Persuasion roll.
Be good.
Persuade them.
Okay.
Persuade.
It's a 20, not natural.
20 is very good. She stops. 20 would be hard, DC. She stops in her tracks, looks at you, and it's clear she's processing the information. You haven't convinced her and turned her over, but the glow in her hands begins to fade. As you see, she's processing and thinking about what she's heard. She goes, but this, Stanley, this flies in the face of everything the Tiet Killeen hold dear. They're safe. The fact that they are saved is a lie. Hope has lied. Nobody has lied and kept secrets. This whole
And-
place would be dead if... And we do not know why. We are not told. And we place great faith in them. And you
if
hear a
we
voice
told
go-
people,
You hear a voice from the right go, "Do it!" And it's Nobieri who just says, "Do it!" And it's small, but it's there. And the zombie 47 Carnage turns the corner,
No!
opens his mouth, and bites.
No!
Sinks right down into her hand. And she screams, "Ah!" And and he's chewing. And Teresa turns around and moves forward.
Oh my god,
You
Hope's
begin
gonna
to
run
soften.
over and
I-
try and pull the zombies off
That's
her.
it for this week,
No!
folks. Tune in next week.
Oh.
no!
No!
I knew that little piece of shit was gonna go boom.
Novieri Emperor or something?
Damn.
Do it!
All right. Well done. That came as a bit of a shock. We'll pick this up next time, guys. And until then, who knows what will happen. But I can tell you this. There is a new selection of There Will Be Dungeons signature teas that you can drink next week. While
Natural transition, if I ever heard one. Oh, man. One of these is so unfortunately named now, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty.
Oh yeah, yours, right?
I'm pulling it up right now. Give me 1 second
Oh
because I
my
want to tell you the
God.
exact stuff here. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. So, phoenixpearltea.com. Phoenix, like the place John lives and sweats. / TWBD. That's where you're going to want to go. And you're going to find all kinds of stuff. Are the new ones up here on the site yet? Or do we know? They should be.
She said they're going to go up today. So by the time you guys are hearing this, there should be the new flavors up today.
All right. Do you have those flavors handy? I'm having a hard time getting into our Twitter group.
Yeah, so one of them is called the Golden Scales. Is it? I thought it was the Golden Sands, though. We're going to have to talk to her
We
about
buttoned
that
it. I ran with it. It's fine.
one. Okay, the Golden Scales, and it's an ancient growth golden black tea, and it's an impossibly smooth black tea made from ancient tea trees that are 100 to 900 years old.
Jeez.
There's also Taste of the Tide Bearers. Unfortunate. It's a wintergreen yerba mate.
No, not unfortunate, right? Because that's literally the taste of the tide bear. It
The
works.
Tide Bearers are an organization.
We got to munch on them.
Losing one Tide Bearer who
literally
just
taste.
helped your friend unage is not necessarily the end of the
she's
organization.
not gone yet, Bo. She's not gone yet.
Yeah.
So it's I see a picture of it, and it is blue, and it's full of ice as an iced tea. It looks absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah,
not to
it
take
looks-
away from that.
It looks
Next
really
one is
good.
Royal Rose Herbal called Orifi's Rest,
Hmm.
and this is a purple tea, and it looks thick. It looks delicious. This looks like it's from a laboratory.
Yeah.
And that's an herbal tea made with butterfly pea petals.
No.
Yeah.
Making
And the
water.
last one we have is Angelashi's Aria.
Nice.
Jasmine green tea. I don't know if Nash will let her have one since her place is at the home. But since Nash's largest change seems to have come with his new partner, I went straight for her. It's a very traditional jasmine green tea, smooth floral, easygoing, relaxing, and perfect for introducing guests into a home.
Nice.
Maybe everyone sort of thinks of her as a homemaker, and maybe it's me that's in the wrong. But those are the great new teas. They look delicious. And you can get them at phoenixpearltea.com.
Yes, phoenixpearltea.com/TWBD. We have a link on the website, as well as our loot support system, which is still only a couple of weeks old. Sign up now, get into one of those cool levels, and get the kind of stuff you want from your favorite people here at There Will Be Dungeons. That's therewillbedungeons.com. We recommend heading over there and being a part of that right away. That's going to do it for today's broadcast and podcast. Thank you, everybody who watches live, those who listen later and watch it on YouTube. We'll be back next week. Nope, we won't be back next week. I almost forgot. This is big news. I'm in Las Vegas next Saturday, and the Fergs have something as well. So everybody's got a thing except for these two chuckleheads, and they may make something. I don't know. They could, I suppose. You guys could one-off some weird John Bow business.
No, not this week.
Not
We're taking
this
the full
week.
week off.
All right, everyone's taking it off.
I got damn prep to do.
I'm going to be in Las Vegas, Nevada, seeing a lot of you there. And when we get back the following week, we will be back to it. So come back for episode 58, which will be a week from this coming
And
week.
yes, we'll
Yeah.
say it's not decided that Emmanuel has been killed, but it's not looking
Right.
good either.
And we're in May by then, by the way. So welcome to May. It's got to be May it's got to be May. So that'll be all of us and all of you. That's soon. That's next time. There will be dungeons.com. In the meantime, thank you all for listening. We'll see you then. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. That's a great question.
That's a good ghost.
Good job.
I remember you told.
Oh my gosh, old
Pretty
man
convenient
Varel.
having a kingdom around to save Varel from all the shitty things.
Oh
that
my
Right?
god.
Oh wow!
We keep having to do alchemy to save Varel. It's
Yeah, it's
freaky,
rough.
man.
It's rough.